Hello everyone, Lakey here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different here. As I mentioned in my previous video, dying is often because of a mistake you made or is just inevitable in the game. I've already talked about that in a more extensive way in the previous videos, so I won't go into it much there, but in this video I wanted to really show you guys what I mean by that, by going over my own gameplay and showing to you that here's the mistake I made that led me to my death, rather than it being all on the shotgun user. So here I have Metro footage when I was using a Remington 870 on Metro. I think I finished 45 to 16, not the best performance by my standards, but I was still top fragging and ended with the highest score for my team. So I'm just going to go through this, show you every death, and explain to you why I think I died here. It is worth noting that this was recorded while I was in a Discord call, so the audio that I hear here is just the plain gameplay audio. It doesn't include Discord audio, so it's hard for me to really explain to you, if I misheard something, that might have been because the Discord call happened and not because of me just not hearing it in game. I don't know if that will happen very often, but we've got 16 deaths to examine here, so we'll start out. Let's find the first one. Okay, so at this first one here, I'm peeking out of the green area and I see that there's enemies in front of me. Playing the clip, I can see that I move back and shoot. I kind of tried to, as you can see, I could kind of see the person just hanging out there by the kiosk, and so I tried to shoot them. However, it looked like the wall took some of my shots and I really only hit them for halfway. They were shooting at me. It was just kind of a botched spread, really, I guess. You can see they were shooting at me too. It might have been a wall bang. I suppressed people, so my bullets landed somewhere, but not where I wanted. Just really a kind of a weird off-angle shot and just a weird moment. So moving on to the next death here, I'm again in the purple area and I start by wall banging the walls over there just to see if I'll maybe get a suppression bonus that will indicate to me that someone's there, possibly even a hit marker. I don't, and I hear someone running up the metal stairs, so I focus on them as well, as they are the immediate threat. However, by shooting the walls like that and putting myself on the radar, I immediately gave up my position to my friend Deputy Wick with the AA-12, kind of just laying in wait, and he was able to wallbang us pretty easily and just spam away. So in a way, that is my own fault for dying here, and if he had had an LMG or something like that, he could have wallbanged me all the same with probably even more bullet spam than what the AA-12 can do. But that was just really because of I gave myself up. But with the person on the stairs there, they probably were going to shoot at us. They did start shooting at my teammate first, and we did take care of them. My teammate killed them, but by the time we could react to another enemy, it was just too late. We had already been shot. At the next death here, I spawned in near the wooden crate. Really not a good idea to be spawning on teammates in the middle of the map because you don't have any context for the situation. You don't know where the enemies around them are, whereas they might have a better idea of that. And so you moving around, you have less of an idea of where enemies are. In this area though, on the radar, I can see that there are enemies in the green area, yet I kind of push up and I start to shoot people in the red area with my shotgun, which at that range is maybe not really worth it. I get a hit marker, but the enemy in the green area has caught on to the fact that we're there and is able to zoom around the corner and just take us out. I would have died to anything here in this situation. They were using the AA-12, but I don't think I can attribute that to just that death, so they could have been using a PDW for all I care, or the Zip 22 or something like that. So what I'm trying to get the point here across when I mentioned that they could have used any weapon is that a lot of people will immediately jump to hating on the shotgun, whereas I really didn't need to push up like that there. I could have even shot the person in the red area from the safety of the crate, which I do usually do already. Pushing up like this to the area that I'm in is not something that I usually do, as it does put you more in the firefight. When people peek around this corner, they're gonna be right up in your face, and so fighting them from the crate is just a much better idea to do rather than be up close like that. So I was playing a little bit more aggressive than I should have been, in my opinion. But I don't think there was much to do there. I was I remember in that moment being aware that there were people over where Deputy was, the person who killed me, yet just kind of ignoring it. I have a weird habit of just like acknowledging that there are enemies in a certain area, but like choosing to kind of ignore it for a moment so that I can focus on something else in the game, and I do get punished for that and I do get killed, and that was just a moment where that happened. Moving on to the next death, fast forward a bit, I think I go on a tiny bit of a streak here, just trying to wall bang people. We make it to the purple area. So it looks like it's on the metal stairs that the fight is happening. I see an enemy there. I go to shoot them. It looks like a teammate of theirs just spawns in and I shoot. Unluckily for me, the person just moves as soon as I shoot the enemy. So I get that, and then I go to react and shoot the next person. As you can see, I do miss my first shot. I lead a little bit too much there, and that by the time that this has happened, the person who spawned on the teammate of theirs who I killed has already reacted to us and knows that we're there. They do kill me with the AA-12, but I would say that that isn't dependent on that. They probably could have taken me out with another weapon. Oh man, moving on to my next death. This was just a weird moment in game. I remember being a little bit frantic here. I spawned in near the very big escalators and I pulled out a nade, I was going up, and then suddenly there's an enemy up there. So I start shooting, I get a headshot hit marker, I start running up the stairs reloading, an enemy pops up, I try to pre-fire, and then they just shoot me down. It's the advantage up there is to the person at the top of the escalator, just given the dominance you have with the altitude, or elevation there rather. That was just a weird moment. I don't know that it's necessarily because of a mistake I made. I tried to shoot the enemy when I expected them to peek, and it just didn't pan out that way. Just kind of another moment in Phantom Forces where you spawn in, think it's okay, and then it just kind of goes sour kind of quickly. I feel like I have a lot of moments where I just spawn in and die, and that's it. So I don't know that I can attribute this so much to a mistake I made. I was clearly trying to shoot the enemies. Back down there at the bottom of the escalator, it did look like I had more teammates on my side and was maybe expecting a bit more firepower when attacking these escalators, but by the looks of things, when I died, they backed off. Ah yes, okay, so I remember this. So in this area, I'm in the purple and green area. I'm fighting off enemies here. I take some out, and then I know that there's another one coming in. Unfortunately, what I do here is I make the mistake of exposing myself to the very long sightline that is the hallway, because I'm dealing with an enemy on the opposite side of that, and just moving around while shooting them. I don't want to stay still. I do expose myself to the hallway, and I just get caught behind, and as you can see here, an enemy runs in here and knifes me. On top of that, someone's already shooting me from that hallway as well, and I'm not sure there was much I could have done here. I do feel like after I killed that person, maybe I could have reacted a bit sooner to hearing the person behind me, but that was just a moment where I just didn't catch it, made the mistake of not being aware that I exposed myself to that hallway. I tend to do that sometimes in this room where it's like, oops, like I kind of back into that hallway or back into the sightline that the hallway has, and I get punished for it. That was a mistake I made, and I got shanked for it. Okay, so it looks like I've run up the escalator in the area. I go to shoot someone, I hit one person, and the other person there just takes me out sooner. This was being aggressive play considering I'm on the other team. I don't know that this was necessarily because of a mistake I made. I suppose that target selection could have been better here, as I'm shooting at the person behind the leading person, and the person who I shot at wasn't even shooting at me. They weren't as much a threat. They ran past me and only reacted to me after I had died. I really think that I would have died here either way. Either enemy I shot, even if I took out the person with the Scar-L, the person with the AUG could very well have been the one who killed me right after. So just kind of not a great situation there. As you can see, I hit the person with my shotgun with what I thought was a pretty direct shot, but it doesn't take them out. So maybe that could have gone differently. I did have a teammate there who got taken out by someone else, but if it had been maybe just a one-on-one, I still don't think I would have lived in that situation. So just kind of unfortunate. Where are we going? Okay, so we're back in the purple area. I'm wall banging people. I get someone. It looks like someone slides into the room, but that's the person with a red gun. The person who shoots me was prone on the ground already, and I don't know, did I shoot that part coming into the room? No, so I completely neglected that part, and they were able to pick up on the fact that I was in the room and wall banging, and they did the same to me. I did kill a person, or did I? Yeah, I killed a person, but it just wasn't the right one in that situation. Had I shot the other part of the wall first, I maybe could have lived, considering that other person slided in as well. That could have been a collateral, but instead I took out the person behind the wrong wall first. So that just ended up in death there. And then going to the next death. Okay, so it looks like we're in the orange area, and we are just absolutely abusing this area with shotguns. I'm just trying to go for the wall bang here, just trying to see if I can pick up on someone. I did, as you can see, I got a kill, but then unfortunately, the person with the scar comes in here, and I was not aware of my surroundings. I don't think I heard them walking up on me, otherwise I probably would have tried to react, as the more imminent threat is obviously them as they're rushing me. And I just died. Kind of a lack of awareness there, and just kind of too focused on what's happening in the other part. So let's go to the next death here. Going another bit of a streak at the start. Okay, so I do die here. Okay, so again, I'm wall banging the wall. That's cool. And then I kill someone, and then it looks like 3 people push up a bit. I shoot one. For whatever reason, that direct hit doesn't land, and then I go to react to shoot the other person, but by that time, they're already honed in on us. He already knows that when he's peeking like that, he knows exactly what he's aiming for, whereas I'm not as familiar with his position. As I shot the other person, whether I killed them or not is neglectful, and then it doesn't really matter very much. And then I go to shoot at this other person, but too late. Wick is already there and is ready to shoot us. Just kind of an odd situation there, considering I got the hit direct on the first person, and then just couldn't react quick enough to shoot the second person. I think that was all I could have done there, unless in hindsight I had tried to shoot Wick first, but the person who ran out with what looks like a Tech 9 was on my screen first, and Wick was not really visible, so while I may have heard Wick, I couldn't have necessarily shot at him. It didn't make sense to try and shoot someone when I already have an enemy that's already on my screen. Probably would have killed me with any weapon there, as they were very clearly prepared to shoot us. Next. Okay, yeah, so I wouldn't attribute this to a mistake I made. I think this is just a Metro thing. I run up the escalator here with my teammate, I shoot someone, I back off a bit, I start taking damage, and there's just someone behind me waiting in our spawn. Just kind of happens like that. Not really much you can do there, it just happens. Maybe if I had not spawned in a teammate and spawned somewhere in my spawn area, I could have seen the person, but that's just an inevitable moment there that it just kind of happens. Not really a very interesting death, but it happened. Next up, let's see. Where are we going? Oh, I died. Okay, yeah, this is another death that I remember. I made a mistake here. I was running out of the purple area, running into the red. As you can see here, as I'm running, I can see an enemy come onto my screen. But for some reason, I just don't react. I think that in that moment, I was just like, whatever, I know there's an enemy there. I'm just gonna go to the red area and fight it from there. But they were already swung way out there that they could see me. So it didn't really make sense, that thought process, and they just gunned me down, and I had nothing to show for it. I didn't even try and shoot back, so that was just another unfortunate situation in death. Okay, here. This is one where ammo management really kind of bit me. Luckily, I was using a pump action, so I was trying to pump in rounds as quickly as I could, but I just kind of got overwhelmed here. So as you can see, I shoot 2 enemies missed one shot, landed another. I have one shot, reload, one shot, and then I go to shoot this other person. They've reacted to me being there. They're ready. They turn around because I'm behind them at this point with their deagle. I attempt to melee them as I'm just out of rounds, and it just doesn't go my way, even though I get a hit marker on them. Just an unfortunate situation. It's just one of those situations where, like, it was inevitable. You just kind of get into situations fighting multiple groups of enemies where you just can't take all of them out. Had I started the situation with full rounds in, all 7 rounds, maybe it would have gone more my way, considering I hit most of my shots. I land the first one on the wallbang, miss one, land the second on the second person, hit the third, reload one in, hit the fourth, and then I'm down to nothing at that point. So if I had 1 or 2 more shots, it probably could have gone my way maybe, but just didn't pan out that way. Didn't have enough shots, and the ammo management was a mistake on my part. I tried to make the most of the situation, and I think I did by getting the most kills I could. The melee just didn't go my way, so maybe switching to my secondary would have been a better option. Okay, moving along here, another death. This is an area where I just have weird happenings where I sometimes struggle to take out enemies when they appear here. I just tend to whiff shots here. It's just a weird area for me. So I'm in the purple area. I'm in the hallway. I see someone. I shoot. I miss. I just missed twice. I had a chance to kill them. I just didn't. I missed my shots, and they were able to kill me instead. And I really, like, they're right there in front of me. I could have totally just shot them, and I whiffed 2 shots before they had even shot me. So just an area where I made a mistake. They're using an AA-12, but honestly, they could have been using any other weapon and just sprayed me down. Alright, so we're in the orange area again. This was one where ammo management, again, just kind of hurt me. So I think here, I was maybe trying to spam this area a little bit. I killed a person. I'm really on low shots. I'm just pumping in shots as I go. I'm down to 0 shots, and then I just miss again. I try to pump in more as I know there's another person here, but they're just ready for us. He peeks. He's already seen his teammates go in front of him and die to us. He knows exactly where we are, and so it's very easy for him to peek. And as you can see, he's peeking. I've just loaded it around, and I'm ready to shoot, and it's too late. So ammo management, again, they're just not really being good. If I had maybe backed off of trying to wallbang people and taken the time to really reload in my shots, as opposed to trying to be aggressive and take out more enemies than I really needed to at the time, I could have had my shots in, waited for them to move up a bit, because you can see there I aggress at the escalator when I don't really need to do that. And I showed to Wick, who's out there, when I aggress at the escalator, then I'm there. So it just, yeah, poor ammo management on my part. So I'm trying to just get more wallbangs here. This is an area that I just love to wallbang people because Metro is just full of choke points, and I'm spamming. I hit the person, but they're doing the same thing. They wallbang me back, and we trade kills. And I don't know that that's because of a mistake I made. Obviously, I'm putting myself in front of an area that while I'm wallbanging it, other people are able to as well. So it's kind of a high risk, high reward. I know just as well that I can get wallbanged as I know that I can take advantage of it. And so oftentimes that risk pays off. But other times like this, it usually results in death or we trade kills. I think trading kills was the optimal thing to happen here, as I got the kill, I maximized it. Sure, I died, but in death, I took someone down with me. They were doing the same. They were doing the same thing, so it happened. I don't think that's necessarily a mistake, but just kind of in that area, you have to just be aware that that can happen to you, and I accept that, you know, like I don't take issue with dying here necessarily. I don't think I shouldn't have done that because I'll still go back and wallbang this area. I like to do that. I like to take advantage of it, even if it means dying to a wallbang once to someone else. So I think that is all of the deaths here. And so yeah, this was just me going over my deaths because as you can see here, I made mistakes. I mismanaged my ammo. I missed my shots. I put myself in positions that I probably shouldn't have. I aggressed in ways I shouldn't have in other areas. And in other areas, even though I may have dotted my I's and crossed my T's, it wasn't enough. I couldn't have reacted fast enough in some moments, or just kind of inevitably happened, like the person just sitting way back in my spawn in Metro who shot me from the escalator. It just kind of happened out that way. Sometimes, even though I took out an enemy, I couldn't have possibly shot the other enemy as they were already taking me out. So it's just situations like that I wanted to show you guys. This is my own gameplay, and so maybe it would have been better to do this with someone else's gameplay, but at least for my own gameplay, I can remember what I was thinking in these moments, even though this is from a few days ago, I want to say. But yeah, I just wanted to go through with you guys on a game that I had on Metro where I died a good amount of times, didn't have very few deaths by any means. Again, it wasn't a game that by my standards for performance was very good at all, but as I've said in previous videos, like, it's not necessarily the shotgun's fault. If this were someone else playing, first of all, they probably might not have been using a shotgun, but if this were someone else playing who really didn't like shotguns, they might be freaking out over this person with the AA-12, because as you can see, my friend Deputy Wick killed me quite a few times. They were the person killing me the most frequently out of anyone here, and he's also a good player. He knows how to play, he knows what he's doing, he's aware of his situations, and so he was really able to capitalize on that while fighting me. But in the moments where he shot me with the AA-12, as I've noted here, going through the deaths, it really didn't matter that he was using an AA-12, like where I just missed my shots on him, or pushed up and was too aggressive and just didn't realize he was coming around the corner when he was. Like, that's got nothing to do with the AA-12. Sure, he killed me with the AA-12 at the end of the day, that's the weapon he was using, but if he was using an AUG A1 or something like that, it would have still been the same result. So that's just what I want to kind of show you guys what I mean when, like, you make a mistake when you die, or it's inevitable when you die, and it's not always because of the shotgun. And I bet that I could go through someone else's gameplay and see that that is the case. So yeah, I hope that this was interesting for you. This is something I don't really typically do, is sit down here and scrub through my gameplay like this and insult myself on how I'm missing shots, which is a stupid thing to do for a player of my experience and a player of my rank. Should I be missing shots like I have? No. Some of the mistakes I've made, should I have made that? No. But at the same time, was some of the stuff here inevitable? Yes. So I just wanted to show you guys, take you guys through a round of gameplay here on Metro. And yeah, I hope this was helpful in kind of further showing you what I mean when I say the two reasons in dying in Phantom Forces are because of a mistake you made or because it's inevitable. So be sure to let me know your thoughts on something like this. Was this helpful for you in understanding what I meant? Be sure to let me know in the comments. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.